All right, everybody. It is Thursday, August 11th. We're knocking on the door of football season. 22 days till toe meets leather in Norfolk, Virginia for the Hokies. We are back with another guest interview. Super special guest here today. I'm looking at the Zoom. I see Grayson Wimbish up there on my top left. He's hanging out in Los Angeles. I see Billy Ray Mitchell down with the Hokie Lane Stadium background in my bottom left, calling in from Rhode Island. I'm Pat Finn, rocking the green striped Rhoback polo here up in Charlotte. And then in the bottom right, in the home studio with the pillows on the ceiling and the big smile, we have former Virginia Tech star running back David Wilson. So before we talk to David Wilson, I got to give you guys a quick intro here. David was a running back, kick return specialist, back flipper, and fan favorite in his time at Virginia Tech. He was also an incredible triple jumper, receiving All-America honors in 2011 on the Tech track and field team. David was drafted in the first round of the 2012 NFL draft by the New York Giants and set a Giants team record for all-purpose yards in a single game when he accumulated 327 all-purpose yards in December 2012 over the New Orleans Saints. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and he also became the first NFL player in NFL history with 200 kick return yards and 100 rushing yards in the same game. So, David Wilson, we're fired up to have you. Welcome to the Sons of Saturday. How are you?
I'm doing good.
So David, hold on. We gotta ask you, what have you been up to? You show up. We haven't heard a lot from you lately. Where are you? What do you do? What are you doing day to day? Give us the quick rundown on what David Wilson has been up to recently.
Man, I've been retired from the New York Giants, so I've been having a lot of time to really tap into my other talents and other things that I am good at, and just been growing in those aspects, and also enjoying the time that I can look back and have those flashback moments of like, man, that was pretty cool. I remember that, or I remember doing this, or achieving that goal. But yeah, also got 3 sons, so yeah, they keep busy, and then making music. So now I record music. As you mentioned, I'm in my home studio. So for like podcasts and different advertisements, music is in everything, movies and video games. Try to find these placements, have my music there. Also give some of my fans a chance to hear a different aspect of me versus the athletic version. They hear the artistic side.
Well, David, what we're going to do is we're going to run through everything, and we're going to start right at the beginning with your Virginia Tech career. I'm going to pass it over to Grayson, and let's take a trip down memory lane and bring it all the way back to today.
All the way back to the beginning, David. You were a product of George Washington High School in Danville, Virginia. You signed your letter of intent on February 4, 2009. A few months later, July 6th, you enroll at Virginia Tech. On September 5th, you're suiting up against Nick Saban's Alabama Crimson Tide in the Georgia Dome. What made you choose to call Blacksburg home? And did you realize at the time you would make an immediate impact as a freshman?
Didn't realize that. When I was going through the recruiting process, I was really liking the teams and the schools and the recruiting coaches that seemed like it was certain ones that just seemed like they was recruiting 4 and 5 stars, and it seemed like certain ones they wanted this particular player at their school for a certain thing. And I felt like the way Blacksburg and Virginia Tech, I remember Coach Steinspring was recruiting me. We just had a genuine bond. And then meeting Coach Beamer, he was so humble versus the other coaches. Even though he had more accolades or more, legacy already established than some of these other coaches, came across as humble and hardworking and family oriented. So that was how my home was. And I wanted to keep that same vibe. And that's what Blacksburg was.
David, Coach Billy Height, talk to me about Coach Height. I mean, that guy, he was at Virginia Tech forever. He had so many backs go through the program who ended up making him an impact and playing in the NFL. And Coach Height is he's a classic guy, man. He was at Tech forever. He was a big time impact on Coach Beamer's program. What was it like playing for Coach Height? How did he help you develop in the running back position?
Oh man, if I had only met Coach Height just from initial recruiting visit, or like, hey, he's the running back coach for Virginia Tech, I still would have remembered him. He just had that kind of personality. And but being able to play for him, have the opportunity to get to know him and establish a relationship, he's a great guy. He really cares about his stallions. He called all of us stallions. So, you know, the running back room, and I don't blame him. You look at the running backs he produced and the running backs that, you know, he's given advice to and guided. He definitely showed me a lot. Keep those legs running no matter what. And he said, I'm your running back coach. I tell you where to get the ball. I don't tell you where to go after you got the ball. And that was something I really liked, the freedom he would give the running back, and looking at football and running forms as an art. He would know that Darren Evans had a different running style than Ryan Williams, and David Wilson had a different attack than, and so on and so forth. And he could observe these things. And I felt like him and my dad had a lot of interesting conversations. And I feel like my dad didn't know a lot about football, and he would say that right off the gate, like, I don't know nothing about football. I just know basically what David is doing kind of thing. I support that and watch that. And I'm learning more as he's going, I'm learning more. And basically, Coach Height starts receiving advice from my dad. and acknowledging, like, that's a point. That is a good point. And incorporating it into the scheme. Yeah, and we was having success, and it kind of meshed all together. His scheme was that we had 3 running backs, Darren, Ryan, me, and my freshman year was just me and Ryan. And he had the philosophy, basically, if you got 3 Corvettes, he's like, how do you feel about Darren Evans? He was like, oh man, he's good. He's big back, hard running. How you feel about Ryan? Oh man, his agility is crazy. He can make people miss it. How you feel about David? Oh, he's super fast and strong. He just get to it. So you feel like they're all good, right? Do they all have something, right? And he was like, well, don't run one of them until they tired. The other team can't keep up if you keep all of them fresh, keep all of them attacking at the same time. He was noticing Ryan Williams was like getting really tired, but Coach Height was like, nah, he get in the groove, he get in the flow. My dad was like, well, when David becomes the starter, you make sure it's somebody that comes in when he's that tired.
So, David,
that year we won the ACC championship. You think about it. This was my freshman year. You think about when we won the ACC championship. That was we was dispersing the ball with Darren, Ryan, and me. It was hard for teams to keep up with that.
David, you set me up perfectly for the next question. And I think in my sports watching career, you have those no, yes guys. I'm a Celtic fan. Marcus Smart is the ultimate no, yes guy. Steph Curry, one of the best basketball players ever, is the ultimate no, yes guy. You were the no, yes guy first. Nobody was the no, yes guy. You get the ball. Okay, great. David Wilson just rushed for 15 yards. Oh, wait, why is he running backwards? Okay, now we're 30 yards behind. We're 30 yards behind where we started. Oh, now he's going for 40 more. So it's interesting to hear that Coach Height was giving you and encouraging you to run in the style that you ran, whether it's, you know, a gift that you had with your vision or kind of just how you did it. Was there ever anything that discouraged you from doing that? Or do you think that Coach Height just really understood and trusted your ability to make it happen at the end of the day?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say with finishing off with Coach Height with that story, is that it takes a lot to take advice or hear advice from anybody. But we all should do that because everybody has advice. That don't mean you use it, but that you should hear it. and it's a difference. But with that question, answering your question, I feel like, yeah, he encouraged that. He allowed his running backs to grow. Yeah, so he wanted us to go out there and learn from our mistakes, what works and what don't work. Mostly in practice, not in the game. Not in the game. You should know what works by the time you get to the game.
Yep, he's seen it enough times in middle drill and seen it enough times in team. You played from 2009 to 2011. You had 2,662 total rushing yards. You averaged 5.8 yards per carry, 23 touchdowns, 5 of which were receiving touchdowns, by the way. 2011 ACC Offensive Player of the Year, and to top that off, you became an ACC champion. All those accolades aside, what are some of the proudest moments or lessons learned during your time at Blacksburg?
Georgia Tech. Kick return against Georgia Tech. That was a proud moment. We go in, I just remember Tyrod telling me, get me good field position. We're going to win this. And then I was like, I'm going to the crib. He was like, all right, then. Like, kind of like, all right, whatever kind of thing. But he knew. We had been saying, we've been practicing together. He knew.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he might do it. And then when I started going down the sideline, everybody had their blocks, and it just seemed like it was just perfect. And I just ran full speed. But I remember that. I remember running up Castle Coliseum on the arcs.
I think everybody remembers that. That was
people think it's a myth. People think you didn't do that. You did that. It's real.
I did that. Yeah. It's the arcs. So Winn-Dixie in my neighborhood, I used to run up. They had a more slant than an arc. But I used to run up there to the top of the building. So when I get to Tech, the arcs are a little wider, a little higher, but a little wider. And I'm like, oh, I can easily run up these. A straight snake. And I'm only thinking that far. I'm not thinking about like, all right, until I'm doing it, I'm not thinking like, all right, you could fall. This is pretty high. Anything can happen. There's no rebound after that. And but yeah, I just kept going. I got to the top, and then coming down was the hardest part.
I assumed so. How did you do it? Did you get on your butt, or how did you? I can't.
Yeah. I faced down so I could run like with my momentum. I knew I could run down a hill if anything, or slide backwards, like fall and slide down. That would be safer than like facing backwards and just slide.
Well,
so
what would have been safer, David, is not doing it the first time, or calling Coach Height to get a crane out to get your ass up to the top of Castle would have been the safest option of all of them.
For the record, it could be worse. There were those guys who biked down it, so
that is true.
At least David was safe,
Oh man, is people ride bike on it now?
I don't know if it's still alive, but there's a video out there of someone riding the bike down, and the ground won. We could put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh man. They didn't pop the wheelie at the end.
No, I think the ground popped him. Yeah.
Well, I was safe. No scratch, no harm to Castle or me. So it was fun.
David, in only 3 years, you accomplished what many can only dream of doing in Forum Blacksburg. After that 2011 season, you're an ACC champion. When did you decide, okay, I've done what I came here to do. Now it's time for the NFL?
I like how you worded that. Man, I just knew the time of for my position. Anything can happen on any given play. I really assessed that, and I witnessed it. Got to witness it with, unfortunately, Darren Evans, as great as he was my teammate. I saw how injuries took a toll on him, and he was only in college. And then also with Ryan Williams, saw how injuries took a toll on him, and he was only in college. So I know on any given play at that position, anything can happen that can change your stock. And at my point, I was how much higher would I really want it, or could really get it versus the risk. And it just came down to feeling like the time was right. Yep.
David, we're going to talk a little bit about your NFL career. As Pat said, 32nd overall pick by the Giants as they came off a Super Bowl victory, one of two that came in my childhood. You were second team All-Pro as a rookie. You were on the all-rookie team. What was it like to make it to the league that most people dream of? You had that moment December 9th against the Saints that Pat was talking about. Just going from Virginia, going through Virginia Tech, unbelievable memories and work that went into that. Was there ever an aha moment, like an I made it moment, or how did you kind of view your entrance into the NFL?
Yeah, I just took it one step at a time, one goal at a time. I set a big goal and put it before myself at a young age that I wanted to play in the NFL, and it seemed so far away. But I was still motivated and excited and running towards this goal. So, I just started setting smaller goals that I could achieve quicker in between that would catapult me or equal up to. Like I used to write my goals down and hang them in my locker. And then my teammates will see it and my coaches will see it. And then everybody can know what you're trying to achieve. But at the same time, once you've seen it that many times, and you can feel like you could make it possible. So you set these small goals, and people used to see the goals like, man, if you do this, you probably be the best player in the league. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably what it'll be like. So I used to set those kind of goals and then achieve them, and you can imagine how rewarding that feels after you've done all the hard work. And yeah.
It seems like you have approached your career and everything that you do. It's very easy, especially in the world of social media and kind of the way that everything is with sports journalism, is this player better than that player? Am I doing better than this person? Am I more productive than this person? It seems like you were just focused at the end of the day on David Wilson is going to do this and everything else is going to follow. Would you say that that's kind of the way that you approached everything? You weren't concerned with anything going on outside of your team and your own production?
Yeah. So my grandma Hazel, she's my mom's mom, and she's black, but she's a fair-skinned lady. She's so fair that I thought she was white when I was little. I was like, Grandma, are you white? She was like, no. But she had this classy way about her, and she would carry herself as such, and teaching us these things and these lessons. And one thing she used to say is, you know what? They're gonna run their mouth, but I'm gonna run my business. And I kind of do it like that.
That sounds like a quote we need to put on a t-shirt. So we'll be getting in touch with you on the you run your mouth and I'm gonna run my business.
Yeah.
This is my next question, and this is it's an important one for me. I'm excited to hear your insight to this. So you had the game ripped away from you due to spinal stenosis. For those of you that are not familiar, David Wright had the same injury. It's a neck injury, and basically you were told that you no longer could play football. Now, I actually, to a lesser degree, playing at Virginia Tech, I had the game taken away from me my junior year. I had 3 herniated discs in my back, and you go from this is my life, this is my identity, this is everything that I do. And I look back at what I learned from football, and it was be on time, be respectful, work hard. You always had something that you were working towards. And I really struggled with being able to remove myself from a team environment where everybody was pushing to be a champion. Everyone was pushing to get in the starting lineup. Everybody was pushing to pull everybody up. So I wanted to ask you, when you look back at your football career, what were some of the things, how did football mold you, and how did football make you into the man that you are today? And how did you handle and make sure that you saw continued success when something that's been a part of your life ever since you were 8, 9 years old was no longer a possibility for you?
Yeah, a lot of those concepts that you mentioned, since we went to the same school, I feel a lot of those same things. But in the same sense, I also realized, like, when you're in that environment, it's everywhere. You just have to align yourself with it, because what we was doing at Virginia Tech is everybody's working together for a common goal. in a positive way. So it's like kind of teamwork make the dream work, on one accord type thing. In the workforce, like even if you work at McDonald's or something, like if you create that like environment, like when you would have in a locker room or a team environment of like, let's get on one accord and let's really have this chemistry and bond, it'll naturally happen and you'll have success. Just like with y'all podcast, y'all probably have a particular locker room type vibe. Like stuff I'm on here right now is game time, but I would never know what happens in y'all locker room or the conversations y'all have and like the energy that keeps this whole thing flowing. So you apply those kind of concepts, and a lot of people, sometimes they haven't seen it or experienced it, but the people who have, they can show it. And that's when leadership, or like for certain things and leadership for this, each one teach one. So everybody can learn something from everybody.
I think the biggest lesson, and you basically said the same thing, the way my dad always put it was, whenever football is over, if you approach whatever you do, whether it's sales, whether it's a podcast, whether it's anything, if you approach it with the same love, effort, and tenacity and commitment that you approached hitting the weight room at Friday, hitting the weight room for football, hitting middle drill, hitting whatever, there's no limit to how successful you can be, because you know what your own limits are. Now, if you knew what pushing yourself physically looked like, you understand what that's going to look like pushing yourself mentally, that you understand what that's going to look like pushing yourself, getting a single out for you, or running track, whatever. It's all very transferable.
Yep. That's what I like about football.
Applies to every aspect of your life.
I think it traumatized us into realizing that, though.
That is true. That is true. That is
Think
true.
about the training camps and the tour days and all. It's like hard work. Where we at?
Pat, you're up here.
All right, so segueing into track, we know that track also played a big part of your life. What led you to track in your youth, and then what led you to continue it at Virginia Tech? And what were some of the goals that you set for yourself when you were approaching track?
Yeah, so I wanted to really run track because I wanted to be the fastest. I wanted to show, prove that I was the fast kind of thing. Football season come to an end. I go to the basketball coach and I'm like, "You the track coach?" And he's like, "No, I can show you the track coach. You should play basketball though." Get in indoor track. I love it. Finding out that I'm not the fastest. Had to work harder. So I used track to stay in shape for football. So when I came back to football, I was the fastest, because I was running with all these like fast track guys all off season, and it rubbed off. Started rubbing off.
So here we go. We're going to talk a little bit about music. If you're on Spotify, we're going to go ahead and link this in the article. David E. Wilson. I got to ask you, when did your love for music, has that always been a part of your life? Is it something that somebody introduced you to? What started your love for music and your want to be in that space?
Yeah, if anybody ever rode in the car with me or shared a dorm or next to me in an apartment, they were like, "Yeah, he's blasting music." In the locker room before the games, it was always a part of what I do. It kind of keep me going. I think music is in everything. It makes it a little bit better. Like I was mentioning before, movies, some of my favorite movie scenes got epic songs or epic sounds. Toys you play with, kids play with, they need sounds recorded in there. Cell phones and devices and machines need sounds. Elevator music, grocery store music, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's basically a part of everything. I think it makes it a little bit better. And that's what led me to it. Felt like it was an expressive outlet that I could show my diversity in different levels of that I love.
Who are some of the most influential figures from music that have impacted your music or your view of it? It doesn't have to be an artist. It could be an elevator that you were riding up in New York City. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you would where else you'd have been impacted. But what are some of the sounds that you like and you jive with, or may help get your creative juices flowing?
Yeah, the first time I ever put headphones on, I was 5 years old, and I put on a Walkman, and it was Michael Jackson, and it was Billie Jean. So the intro, it just got me, and then it sounded like he was having so much fun singing about something that wasn't so fun, and I remember that resonated with me. So from there, I was a Michael Jackson fan. Kanye West, Pharrell Williams, really like look at them as outside the box. Like it's hard to categorize them. I feel like I'm a man of many talents. Don't really want to be kind of categorized, even though you got to be categorized some form of fashion to do something. So yeah, I just like creative artists. It's a lot of creative artists that I like, but those are some of them.
So as an artist and a producer, what kind of helps fuel your creative energy? Are you like superstitious at all? Are there any, like, I guess, pre-producing routines that you find yourselves in? Where do you draw inspiration from?
Just my everyday life. So sometimes I'm experiencing something good or bad, and I'm like, I can write, or I can go make a beat, and I can get it out. So sometimes I make a beat with one feeling, and I can remember the moment. I play all my beats and play all my music. I can remember making it and remember it. Like you can show me a picture of me playing on the field, and I can remember so much about that from the picture, because it was like I was there, kind of like seeing it too, like kind of witnessing it too. And I'll put the lyrics on it, and it'll sound like a whole different thing because it's two different time periods coming together.
So thematically, I guess, what kind of like mood and emotions do you try and draw from the music that you produce? Is there one kind of genre or niche that you would say you fit into, or are you all over the place?
Yeah. So at one point I was writing, and I was sounding like really inspired. I was sounding really inspired, and I noticed I was sounding sad, and it was becoming so easy for me to make something sad. So then I started like thinking about, why is that happening? So then I was like, I know what, Mr. Pitiful. Have you ever heard of Otis Redding?
Yes.
He got a song where he talks about he made his living off being so pitiful and sad, but the songs be hot. And sometimes vulnerability is real for people, and they can resonate with it. That's what something I wanted, something that was genuine for me, and that's how I be feeling sometimes. Sad, experiencing something. I'm dramatic though, so it's not like I'm like going through anything like overly, but it's like, yeah, you get sad sometimes, and you be like, you know what would cheer me up? I can make a song about it and get over it. Yeah.
That's kind of like your first, anytime you go through something like that, it's like, okay, I'm going to go make a song about this. Like that's it.
Yeah.
You go to the studio, and that's what you do.
Yeah. But sometimes if I'm sometimes it's good stuff or inspiration, and it's different genres. So like anytime I'm feeling too much of one feeling, I'm feeling too much of one feeling. Yeah, I can go in the studio and do something.
See, that's different from everybody else. When I'm feeling sad, I might throw on some Adele. I might throw on some different music, but you just go ahead and you make it yourself.
Yeah.
David's not listening to music when he's sad. He's like, I'm gonna go make music.
Oh man. That's awesome. So David, here's what we're gonna do. We got our next segment here is rapid fire. I'm gonna be honest, you don't seem like a rapid fire kind of guy, so you are free to expand on any of these questions as long as you'd like. So we'll kick it off right here with if you could own any vehicle from any year. I know you're a big car guy. What car would that be?
I own it.
Okay.
It's a 1971 K5 Blazer.
Google search.
Looking this up right now. 1970.
When did you come into possession of this blazer?
About a year ago.
Okay. Has it been a long search? Have you been searching for it for a while? When did this obsession with this specific vehicle start?
It started a long time ago, but I actually like physically started looking for it because it was two cars. It was the Bronco and it was the Blazer.
Okay.
I was liking both of those, but not the new one, like the
Old
classic.
school.
So like people, that's another thing. It'll be, if you like YouTube David Wilson's car,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see the like Thunderbird.
Mm-hmm.
I used to drive around. I had a 1978 Thunderbird at Virginia Tech. So I really like classic cars. I got a 1951 Styline. It's a Chevrolet. And I also got a 1987 Chevy R10.
Big Chevy guy.
Yeah. So that's why I rode with the Blazer, because I was looking at it and I was like, man, they made the new Bronco look like a college girl car. Unless you put like a lot of kits on it and stuff. Unless you put like a lot of kids, a lift like this, all that on it, it kind of looks like a college girl car off the lot. And it's only a V4 and a V6. Did you know that?
I know
that. It only comes in a V6. That's the biggest you get.
I didn't know that, but I do know that you just you axed any chance of a Ford sponsorship with the Sons of Saturday. But that's okay, because you're right. I'm not a fan of the Broncos either.
Do you still have the Thunderbird?
I recently got rid of it. I sold it. Yeah, somebody wanted to buy it, so I sold it to them. I also get into classic cars because they appreciate versus depreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that Blazer, I got it right and tight. This is up there.
Summertime car. There you go.
Yeah. The whole top come off like a convertible truck.
If you could have, I'm gonna combine these two. If you could have dinner with anybody in history, dead or alive, and you could go into the studio with anybody dead or alive and produce a track, who would that be?
Oh man. Dead or alive. Trying to think. God. Both times. I go to eat with him. And I'll make a track with him.
I wanted to ask you about that, and I didn't know if it would fit in. Can you just give us a little insight into where your faith, because you're a faithful guy. You wear it on your sleeve. It's a big part of who you are. Where did that come from? Where was faith instilled in you, and what does it mean to you today?
Yeah, I feel like you gotta just embrace life. Nobody has the same purpose, journey, or even goals for themselves. So it's very diverse. But somehow it's one thing that's all in common is love. I feel like we all have that in common. All things can feel that, and all things can respond to it and give it. Even from an infant, baby, toddler, they can feel positive and negative energy. This is good, this is bad, or I feel good about this, or maybe I shouldn't have, kind of thing. And just stay aware of that, hold yourself accountable, and continue to like love yourself first so you can give proper love to the world on that accord.
Who was the most impactful coach that you had in your time with the Hokies and the time with the Giants?
All of them.
Okay.
Those two amazing coaching staff that I was able to play with. Coach Beamer and the guys he had. Remember Shane Beamer came in for Coach Hype. He was even great. It's like, oh, it makes sense because your dad's a good coach. Because why wouldn't you be a good coach? And then also with the Giants, same way. I remember all my coaches, even like defensive coaches on the defensive side of the ball. Hey, Dave, let me tell you something. That's what defense is looking for. Kind of thing. So, man, I had a lot of great coaches.
What about your most impactful teammate that you had with the Giants in Tech? Now, I'm going to say every player and coach has been impactful on you. But if you had to pick one,
I'll say if you just look at my life now. So like Tyrod Taylor, we still keep in contact and we still talk a lot. I just was up at Giants Fan Fest. You know, he gave my son an autographed football and made my son's day. And with the Giants, I'll say Ruben Randall.
Okay. Ruben Randall. That's a throwback.
Yeah, he played at LSU.
Yeah.
You guys were drafted same year, right?
Yeah. So that's my road dog. Yeah, well, I was just talking to him yesterday on the phone. Missed a phone call. He called me like 3:00 in the morning. But yeah, it's that like we're just that tight. Like, it don't even matter.
What is it? I'm fired up for this one, David. I know you only had a year, but I feel like this guy is a walking story. So I need to hear your best Eli Manning story.
Best Eli Manning story. The one I'm gonna tell.
Okay.
He was we was at practice, rookies get in. Oh man, chopping it up. First day of practice. Because when you as the rookies, you get there, you don't really see the team. I ain't know that. I wasn't aware of that until I experienced it. You get there and you like, well, all the players, like, it's just, I don't know none of these guys. This the real Giants, like, right? Like, they like, yeah, these just some like stand-ins or like kind of practice squad. Give you rookies a good look through rookie camp or whatever kind of thing. Some of those guys end up making the team because it's an opportunity for them too to get some film with the team, whatever. But basically, we get out there and Eli's there this practice. He comes up to me, he's talking to me. Yeah, man, something. And I'm like, oh man, it's cool. Finally, like this feel like a bonded thing. Like I'm ready to have a cool quarterback relationship, running back relationship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, my wisdom teeth been really bothering me. That's what he tell me. Okay. And I'm like, oh man, I ain't had no experience with wisdom teeth. Luckily, he was like, you sure? Like, cause I want to get it before the season. I won't have to like worry about it during the season if it's bothering me. How do yours look? Cause you don't never have problems. And I was like, nah. He was like, can I see? I was like, and he was like, it's like, I can't see, like, open it wider. And I saw him like trying to, like, he had some dirt and grass in his hand. Like really quick, ready to throw it in there. And I like bagged up. I was like, man, get out of here. Something. Kind of tell him off and catch him in the college bluff, right? I watch him do this to 3 other rookies and succeed. to the point he goes to the fourth rookie. And I'm like, yo, don't show him your teeth. So, yeah, maybe y'all can use that one somewhere. Y'all be in an environment where you can flick some grass.
What about did you have any weird, or not weird, did you have any peculiar, I feel like you did, any peculiar, good try. Tough word, man. Did you have any peculiar pregame?
Hey, we gotta represent this Hokie education now.
No. That is a speech. That is a speech impediment. That is an impediment.
There we go.
I'm trying to use SAT words. I'm getting all tricked up. Did you have any peculiar pregame routines? Any peculiar recording routines? I'm gonna stop saying it. No more.
Yeah, you got
any odd routines or like little rituals that you would do?
Yeah, I had these like certain drills. It's like one of them looked like a kind of Elvis Presley thing I used to do to loosen my ankles up for the game. I remember one time Ryan Williams just watched me do it and he was like, yeah, that's crazy. And then I ran in a circle. Like I do this thing where I run in a big circle and the circle slowly gets smaller. No, a small circle and it gets big. I do it vice versa. Either way.
You don't get
do both. Bigger and smaller. Full speed kind of. If you see how small the circle gets, it's like he's still going like full speed.
It's like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
the reason I do those 2 drills, the first one was to get my ankles loose, make sure I don't get any like injury, people grabbing my legs and stuff. Want to have it loose. The second one is getting familiar with the turf and the terrain and what's possible on this particular field, where I will run in those circles. I'll be able to feel my G forces. So when I get into the game, I know it calibrated on this turf.
Do you have anything specific to music that you do? Are you drinking any specific tea? What is your pre-music routine?
Hennessy? No, I'm just playing.
Hennessy.
Yes.
No, like I like getting a good vibe. Sometimes I like candles and like the lights here. Comfortable environment, somewhere where I feel safe. That was part of the reason why I built my studio in my home, was where you feel more safe than in your home. That explains the pillows, like it's so comforting, right? Look at this, in the ceiling.
It's
Is that a teddy bear?
Yeah, wearing a crown in the ceiling.
It's a big bear.
So yeah, what's safer than that, right? So I get in here and I set this vibe, and I can really tap into what I'm really feeling, not influences from anything else. That's why I don't sample. I know how to sample, but I stay away from sampling the music and using older songs to make a new song. There's nothing wrong with that, but for me, I really want to give a raw interpretation of that moment I was feeling. And then that moment will last forever once it's recorded. And that's what I feel like is special about the music. So I do go into it knowing that potentially this will be here forever in some form of fashion.
So David, we're going to talk about some rapid fire Blacksburg edition. What was your favorite place to eat in Blacksburg?
Oh man, so many places. I got to name a few at least.
Go for it.
Bull and Bones.
Classic.
McAdoo's. Yeah. Top of the stairs.
Yes.
Okay. Eating at Tots. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Is it easier to catch a rabbit or a squirrel?
Squirrels. It's easy.
Even
though I caught both, it's easy to catch squirrels.
Have you tried to catch any other animals? Are there any other animals on the list?
If I caught snakes, lizards, birds, hawks.
You caught a hawk.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I caught a white. I don't know if it was a dove or a pigeon. I couldn't analyze, but it was all white. I remember that. That was more like I was holding the wings and it was flapping like this, and I had to let it go.
We need we need a TV show on this. The people need to see this.
Yeah. I need the cameras. All you gotta do is follow around with a camera. You see it.
We could do a day in the life of David Wilson. I think it would be one of the more entertaining days of the life that we could probably come up with.
All right. Yeah, dogs, cats. Man, turtles.
Turtles, that sounds easy. That sounds a little
come
easy.
on. All right, yeah. Sprinkle that on top. Like any fish? Have you gone aquatic yet?
Yep, caught fish. I caught
with
fish
your
with my
hand.
bare hands.
Yeah.
With my hands, yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of anything less.
They have I didn't think the fins was spikes. Some fins got like spikes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be careful.
You grab a fish, yeah, like it's like oh, like it's stinging, right? Didn't know that, but I found that out. I didn't know the species or anything. I just was like, I can grab it.
Favorite memory from Virginia Tech, football or non-football? It could be anything.
Just a warm embrace of when I was saying I wanted to go on and live my dream and go to the NFL. You know, it could have been like, oh, F you, man. You leaving us hanging. You gonna go where? You wanna go somewhere else kind of thing. Cause that's actually what's happening. Like, no, you still have supposed to be here, but you leaving. But it was kind of warm and everybody wished me well and was continued to support me like that. It showed the family. That's how my family felt about it. So they showed that they was family too.
What about something non-football related? I always talk about, I'm not sure if you guys had it back in the day. Not to age you. I know, yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but we went to Hokie Club, Hokie Camp, I'm sorry. You know, nights at DX or certain parties you went to. Is there anything like off of the football field, not football related, that really stands out to you in your career at Blacksburg?
Oh man, I feel like DX was in West End and those places like that was like it was football related because that's how I had the swipes.
Yep.
What
I wouldn't have experienced it without the football.
What dining hall did you frequent most during your time at Virginia Tech?
Oh, it had to be the slushies at West End and the rib sandwich, the steak sandwich, like steak rib sandwich or something. They had.
West
I don't know if
End.
they still got it, but yeah, West End.
Did you live in Cochran Hall?
Cochran, yeah.
That makes sense. All the student athletes say that. They all say West End because it's right there.
Late night DX.
Yeah.
Always.
Late night
Chicken
DX,
strips.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Have you taught your sons how to backflip?
They flipping. They doing headstands and handstands, push-ups. The back flip, they need assistance right now. So my oldest one is 5. So yeah, they getting it. They close.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still backflipping?
Yeah. You gotta get it. You gotta find out if you catch a day in the life.
Couple more rapid fire here, Dave, before we get into letters from the lunch pail. Real quick, what did Jarrett Boykin say to you after you came out of nowhere and swiped that touchdown pass in the 2011 Orange Bowl? Because you saw his like reaction. He's like, "Oh, dude, that was mine."
That's epic. That play is epic forever, right?
It was pretty
Especially
epic.
in my book.
Tyrod was
Because I'm celebrating with everybody else, right? And Jerry Boykin is like, "Yo, you took my touchdown." And I'm like, this is odd energy based off what just happened. I scored a touchdown. Everybody else is like, hell yeah, he's like, man, you took my touchdown. And I
So
was like,
funny.
what is he talking about? Why is he saying that? It's like, is he starting to be a hater? That's what, because I haven't seen the film. I haven't seen the highlight or anything. So I look at the Jumbotron and I see him like just standing there so perfect, like I'm right here, like throw me the ball, like, and I dive across and I just take it past. So Tyrod, when he goes to camps and the play got a lot of press or whatever, when he goes to the combine and these coaches and meeting with them, they're like, hey, we saw you throwing the ball. That was a really athletic play, man, for your awareness to be that high and knowing the sideline and everything, to remembering the play and find the scramble drill. Who was you throwing the ball to? He said, I was throwing it to David.
Of course, premeditated. Oh yeah, exactly how y'all drew it up.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. So he like, yeah, I was throwing it to David. He was like, I wasn't finna tell him I was throwing it to Jared, cause you called it. That's basically equivalent to an interception. So he was like, nah, I told him I was throwing it to you. But he was like, yeah, that he's like, they was asking a lot about me after that play. So he was telling me to just keep doing what I'm doing. And you'll be next up.
New York City is a place with some of the best food on earth. During your time up that way, what was your go-to spot?
Oh man, I had a lot of people showing love with the food. So to have a go-to spot, it was like, I can come here and get food. I can come there and get food. I can go here and get food, because a lot of people's like Giants fans and they just want you to be fed. So yeah, a lot of Italian mafia vibes. Hey, come get this plate, man. Pizza. Yeah. The pizza delivery guy is not the same guy in New York. Yeah.
So, David, I gotta ask you. So, as a Jersey guy, I mean, look, I'm sure I'm getting a lot of eye rolls when people driving their cars right now and stuff. But look, I'm a Jersey guy. I feel like Jersey gets a bad rap. You came to New Jersey to play for the New York Giants. I want to get the David Wilson report card on the state of New Jersey. We get a bad rap. The Jersey Shore, everybody thinks it's everybody on the Jersey Shore, fist pumping and, you know, hair gel and everything else. So I want your honest opinion. I want your honest opinion on the state of New Jersey.
Jersey Shore is Jersey Shore. Like
it is.
Yes. Like, yeah, it is the fist pumping in right. Atlantic City. Yeah, there's all those vibes right there. But it's very diverse. New Jersey is way more diverse than people think.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of trees.
We do have a lot of trees.
Jersey, yeah, you drive through New Jersey in certain parts, Paramus, and certain parts right there. Yep. Up a little bit north of there, you get west or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Get into the trees, and yeah, and then it's so accessible to New York. It's like right there. Then they got a nice airport. You can fly in Newark, train station. And I feel like the people there are almost like New York, but they got it's a difference in the sense of they feel like New Jersey feel like New York is living off New Jersey, and New York feel like vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
So it's like that. Like, what are you doing over here? Across the tunnel, it's like, what are you doing over here with that? Like, what are you doing? Get back on the other side of the tunnel. Go back across the George Washington Bridge.
Little turf war. And,
unless you play for the Giants. And then it's like, all right.
Right.
All right, he's cool.
Good. So letters from the lunch pail. We've gone off on some tangents here, and you got most of them answered. But I'm excited about this one. So Grant Watson asked, "Can you describe the emotions you had giving that pregame speech in the 2009 USA football game?" And I want to add as an aside, I see wrapped around your hand, you have a United States of America bandana.
Yeah.
And it's a little tumultuous. There are people that don't like other people. Everybody's arguing. It seems like everything's in upheaval. So I just want to learn a little bit more about that moment in 2009. And what do you think is going to bring this country back together?
In 2009, when I was playing for the Team USA and being able to be called Captain America, it made me the captain of the team. And I would lead us out there with a speech. And normally it was something motivating and led us to scoring a lot of points and a victory, along with everybody else's effort. And, getting to the point where we were we was at Walsh University and all these countries, it was 7 countries brought there, and we would stay in this campus. So Canada had this dorm, and there was a couple, like, they spaced it out. Then Mexico would be in this dorm. Japan was right here, Germany, New Zealand, France, a couple other teams. We're all there and we're kind of like learning about each other's culture, and it's going respectful. And it's like, oh man, that's cool. We having conversations. Like, they set it up where we can mingle. Like, maybe, you never know where people end up. Maybe you play for Team USA, but now you live in Germany and you met this guy from Germany when you was at this football game, and now you got this opportunity, or you got this friend, or you got this guy you've been kind of keeping up with. Y'all got this common ground of like, man, yeah, that was fun. We played against each other then, blank. Building relationships, kind of networking. But with Canada, they was winning. I would say we was the best teams there. But the United States team was like by far on statistically showing, like proving that we were like more talented at American football. When we played them, they incorporated some of the Canada football leagues to make it more balanced. So we had to learn like a couple new rules. I don't remember them, but they did a couple adjustments. So it was more balanced. But basically we was playing them, and right before we got to the game, they had been winning, but they was beating teams like 21-6. I think their best score was like 40-14 or something. They beat a team. We was beating teams like 78-0. So other teams was winning and losing. We were the only two undefeated teams so far, and they felt a little bit more, I guess, entitled to. And then they start going that way. So they start saying that, like, this is our country. Y'all don't know how to really even play this football. We're gonna show y'all how to play football, blank, 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 in the dining halls. So it's already building up this kind of like, oh, this is a little disrespectful to our country. So I'm feeling that. So then we get on the field and we're doing the warm-ups. And if you played football before, you know how like warm-ups is like certain players or certain people got that mentality to taunt or get a little bit more rowdy, start bouncing around. They're doing this, and they're kind of saying these things like screaming these things like, yeah, we're finna show y'all this how I feel. And for the first time, we wearing away jerseys. I guess because they wanted to just show all the uniforms. But this is we wearing away jerseys, and we were in the away locker room. So it wasn't just I didn't feel like it was just for the uniform, like to show a uniform. It was like, you put us in the away locker room. They out there saying like, this is theirs. Like, what's going on? Like, y'all not hearing this? Am I the only one hearing this? So I get a little steamy about that, and we end up beating them. I think it was like 48-3, 52-3, something like that. After that speech, yeah, the speech still on YouTube. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But that was unexpected. I didn't expect that it was gonna go there. I normally kept it cool. Like, what we gonna do? Fight? Like, go hard, go something. Stay focused. So just a regular speech, right? This game was just feeling a little bit more. So yeah, I do respect the land that I live on. If I didn't, it's the whole world. Why would you be living on this land if you have a problem with it like that? But I feel like everywhere has problems, kind of like my upbringing and where I live, and the way things are progressing, in the sense of people want to help and want to work together. And you just gotta, it's good and bad and everything, but don't ignore the good.
Last question for you. Virginia Tech relationship. We got to get you back to Blacksburg. Blacksburg misses David Wilson. So how do we get you out of this pillow-covered room? I know a lot of awesome stuff goes down in the pillow-covered room, but we need to get you in your car, and you need to get to Blacksburg. So I'm curious about what's your relationship like with Virginia Tech. Do you have plans to go back? When can you go? We need to get you back, David. We miss you.
Yeah.
How do we make this happen?
Yeah, I don't think it's an excuse for last year. I missed, but when COVID happened, missed it. Then, like I said, I've been popping out kids. So yeah, that was taking up my time, but that's well spent time. And I've been able to get up there back and forth since leaving pretty often until like COVID hit. And now it's back, seems like it's everybody getting back adjusted. And we can get Inner Sam jumping again. Yeah, I'm always Hokie Nation.
So now I got to call you out, David.
I'm just nervous how different it is, because it's different coaches and different everything, right? So
but same Hokie.
At the end of the day, it's all the same thing, man. You love that place.
I went to the Georgia Tech game when they played down here, because like I said, it was easier to get there.
Yeah.
Based off everything that was going on. But yeah, so I was able to support the Hokies last year too.
Okay. So I got to ask again, do you have plans to get back anytime soon?
Oh yeah. I'm ready to look at the schedule. ready to check out this. I'm catch the first 2 games and see what I'm liking,
Okay.
and then I might be up there all the time.
Okay. Well, we got an event going on that Boston College game. We got some other stuff going on. So if you're in town, we'd love to see some backflips and see what's going on. So
Hey, anybody watching this, you got something going on in Blacksburg. I love Blacksburg, so hit your boy up. I'll pull up. Let's make it worth it. Let's make it worth it.
Oh, we will. We absolutely will.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, David, I got to say, first and foremost, congratulations on everything. Congratulations on being a father. Congratulations on the music. Congratulations on everything else. Second of all, this has been one of the most fun and off the rails in a good way episode that we have maybe ever recorded. So I appreciate you taking us there. We started with a trumpet. We talked about catching the fish with your hand. We talked about running up dangerous edifices multiple times, and we've come to the end. So I wanted to give you this opportunity. If you have any message for anybody listening from Virginia Tech, from the New York Giants, from anywhere else, where can we find your music? What can we expect from you moving forward? And just a departing message from you. You can take it however you'd like. I have no idea where you're going to go with it, but it is.
Yeah. Basically, man, to find my music, I'm always on Twitter. I'm always on Instagram, and I'm like tweeting my links. So don't be scared to click on the link.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It'll take you to the right place. and then, and then if you want to type in on whatever platform listen to music on, I have something on there. Is just type in David E. Wilson. You have the E on there. If you try to like type in just my name and football stuff, it'll just pop up. But maybe even that it'll lead you to something with my music. So currently, I've been strategically trying to release in the past and try to come up with this way. But man, I got a lot of genuine people that listen to my music and have genuine feelings when they hear it and it touch them in certain ways. And they DM me and tell me this kind of thing or message me. And I don't want to hold that up any longer. Also with performing and stuff, I'm ready to pick up on that. So I just want to keep releasing my stuff like a kid and just keep dropping it, keep dropping it, keep dropping it. And it'll be there to find when the time is right.
So I'll tell you what, David Wilson, what we're going to do is we're going to set up some event. We're going to get you, we're going to get you, if we get an event going and we get people to show up, will you perform an event at the event? People want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. I'm going to shake your hand over Zoom. Can I get a handshake? Bang, bang. All right. There it is. Virtual handshake from 1,000 miles away. David Wilson, really appreciate the time. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you in Blacksburg soon.
For sure. I appreciate y'all.